Well, good morning. I'm Jeff Coleman.
And I'm Debra Pinkerton. Welcome to Morning Light.
So why? Why are we so easily seduced by the promise of easy money or money without the sweat investment? Last week, you've heard this story. A White House teleprompter operator was accused of using insider information to profit from prediction markets. I'm going to ask the panel the bigger questions about why we seem to be turning everything into a bet.
And coming up later in the show, putting Christian principles into practice through programs that build a healthy spirit, mind, and body. That is the mission of the Y. We will go one-on-one with the president and CEO of the Harrisburg Area YMCA. Plus, we'll share details about a class that will test your strength and get you toned.
If you've not been into that Harrisburg, that downtown YMCA, there's so many clues to the story, the history, the heritage of that YMCA. Yeah. Well, last week, a White House teleprompter operator, the man responsible for managing the president's formal speeches, was placed on leave after federal investigators alleged he used advanced knowledge of speeches to make more than $100,000, get this, betting on which words and phrases the president would utter. It's the latest reminder that from Congress to the executive branch, the temptation to use insider access for personal gain continues to challenge long-standing ideals of professional ethics. We have really lost that sense of what is right and wrong when it comes to this.
I believe so. Well, so-called prediction markets have quickly grown into a multi-billion-dollar industry. It has turned your smartphone into a platform to wager on almost any event imaginable. Today, you can bet on whether Jesus Christ will return before 2027. Really? Will Taylor Swift announce a new album before the end of the year, or whether the United States will officially confirm the existence of aliens? Supporters call it forecasting. Critics call it old-fashioned gambling with a new name.
What do you think, Debra? Man. Well, gambling has always been a magnet for public debate in America. Traditionally, many Christian leaders opposed it. They stood against it, while those who benefited from it found ways to justify it. Back at the founding father Benjamin Rush warned that gambling encouraged idleness and fraud. Pursuing wealth without work, he believed, was going to be poison for this new nation. Well, more than 2 centuries later, the question remains, is betting a harmless amusement, or does the temptation to turn everything into a wager run counter to the founder's ideal of freedom, virtue, and productive labor? I will ask the panel. Pastor David Smith, John Wetzel, and Ajay Kunarasa here this morning. Gentlemen, you better have some answers, because everyone is, we've gone deep into this world of gambling. I look at the numbers on the World Cup, the numbers that were wagered far above Super Bowl numbers, wow. $60 billion just for this period of time. And but the relabeling and the rebranding of the whole industry as a predictive market, partnering with major news network to get the sense of the prediction. Jesus coming back in 2027 has about a 2% chance, they say right now. So not a lot of people perhaps ready for that event. Ajay, you see a lot of this, especially with young people, where everything is a bet now. Yeah. What is at the heart of the trend? Yeah. And have we thought through the implications of all this?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's complex. I think for young people, I think 25 years old to 35 years old, men in particular, are making the most bets. And I think for them, they have a casino in their pocket. There's no friction. They don't have to walk to a casino. They don't have to worry about the stigma. They don't have. There's not. All the steps are eliminated. And then they're watching shows.
They don't have to get on a bus to go to West Virginia like they did 20 years ago, right? Yeah.
And then all the media they're consuming, if it's sports media in particular, for men, is sponsored by all the betting ads. So you're being bombarded with messaging that's pulling you towards making a bet. And it's that temptation of easy money, money without any work. And it's enticing to young men who are struggling to find their way.
What's your counter message? What do you say in response?
I mean, from the Christian perspective, work is a gift from God. Work is a good thing, you know? So I want to encourage men to find their identity and their purpose through the work that they're in, you know, to discover what God made them to do. That's just such a counterintuitive to the easy, instant, everywhere appeal of the world we live in.
John Wetzel, he spent so many years studying the criminal justice system and serving both the prison population and the people who work in and are adjacent to that community. So many things seem like they're at the problem, seem like they're exactly the root of what Ajay is saying, which is a disconnection of work. Somebody wanted a shortcut. How many of those crimes do you think are close to or near betting, gambling? Just anecdotally, did you hear a lot of that? Was there gambling in prison?
I think there's gambling everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, raffles, and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
There's gambling at churches, you know.
Yeah.
So I think from the connection to corrections.
We're going to get letters about that.
A bit of it. Well, I'm just saying, it's gambling. I mean,
yeah, right. It is.
You know,
Yeah.
I think the connection is a little bit tangential, but I mean, this whole topic brings to mind what St. Paul said: all is lawful, but not all is good for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think this is really a case where, I joke a little bit about raffling, but I don't. You know, you talk about our kids being gambled; they're socialized into it.
Right.
You know, and many of the games that kids play, even if it's not real money,
They mimic.
It's a gambling model.
Right.
So we socialize and normalize gambling pretty early on, and then we go, oh, I can't believe like 25 to 35-year-olds are gambling so much. Well, why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
You know,
When
and
do you
plus
think
there's an
that-
endorphin. I mean, there's an endorphin that's tied to it. There's a buzz that comes when you win.
You coach young men, you mentor young men. When do you see it begin to creep in, this introduction to, is it very
It's
young?
everywhere. Listen,
Yeah.
if you pick a game, solitaire on
Right.
your phone,
Right.
there's a token economy that goes to this, and you win and lose, and you have to
Okay.
wait till tomorrow to get more points to play. This is where it builds the foundation, and it's normalized.
Yeah.
And then it's so simple and easy, like you said, it's in your pocket. And let's say NFL,
Right.
you can bet on, is this guy gonna score a touchdown? So just, some people would say it makes the game a little interesting, but these are all the slippery slope that leads people to really substantial problems.
So why is it so difficult then for, just make this broadly, religious leaders to say, we're not going to have anything to do with it, we're not going to be adjacent to it? In fact, when we get to those passages of Scripture on a Sunday morning, we're not going to jump over them, we're going to talk about it. Is it because so many of, so much of the money that is coming, is there too much of a connection? Are the people that are trying to reach young men to bring them into the church, would that be offensive to talk about these issues?
Well, I think there's several reasons why someone may not want to touch on the subject as opposed to actually diving in. It could be that fear that you talked about. It could be not being knowledgeable of all the nuances,
Right.
the endorphins. The 25 to 35, they just aren't aware. If you're an older congregation over 50, these aren't issues that you think are affecting your
Right.
body. So therefore, you're going to deal with growing older or whatever issues they may face, as opposed to this cultural phenomenon that we see that has been around for a long time. Now it's just legal. Anybody who's been around knows that gambling has always existed, whether it's numbers runners, whether it's on a spades game, whether it's the little parlays you get.
Right.
When I worked at the state, we'd have a guy come around every Friday with these little tickets, and you put $10 down, and it was accepted. Everybody knew it. It's
Right.
just what happened. So, Jeff, I think the issue for us as Christians is that we have not developed a solid enough worldview to help people understand all the ramifications of gambling, all the things that seek to pull us away from being satisfied in Christ.
I don't know that we have time for worldview debates, it seems, anymore, right? Nobody's sitting around asking, is AI right or wrong? Is gambling right or wrong? We're just kind of diving in and saying, well, they're available, and everybody's doing it.
Well, we should be the gatekeepers, in my opinion, of worldview thought as Christians, because we have the book that guides us. We have God's principles that are overarching, should be, over society that we're following and that we're living by and that we should be teaching. Unfortunately, we are seemingly wanting to opt out.
So how do you do this? How do you take the young men that you're working with and saying to them, pause, without sounding like a scold, a prude, someone who is just overbearing, you want to control me. All their friends, as John's describing, everybody's doing it. They're betting on uniform colors and album release dates and how many, the teleprompter guy for the president is caught predicting, and he sees the word, so he knows exactly what, and he's placing bets on the side. It doesn't feel like it's going to stop anytime soon. How do you pump the brakes and say to those young men, you got to think about this?
Yeah, I'm reminded of the psalm that says, taste and see that the Lord is good. And I think for the young men that I work with, I want them to understand the beauty of vocation. I want them to understand the beauty of hard work. Recently, I had a young man at my house who's not doing well at school. He has all the risk factors, but he's been helping out with a siding project at my house, replacing siding with the older men of my church, waking up early in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, staying back till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Wow. And every day you see like a smile on his face, like, man, I did something with my hands today. And then I would pay him, and I want to pay him, and show him how to handle his money and whatnot. And then when he's working and when he's around these men, these Christian men that are pouring into him, I mean, they're just like a light that comes into him that's like, man, it feels good to work. It feels good to wake up in the morning, to use my hands. And now I want to protect my money. I just don't want to frivolously throw it around everywhere. But when there's idleness and purposelessness, I mean, you're just going to be home just clicking away, finding all types of foolishness.
I would love to record these conversations. You can sneak a little camera there somewhere.
Yeah.
These older guys, man.
They're not G-rated.
Okay, not ready for Lighthouse TV. Can you help me understand what you do to help a person who has not grown up in a culture of work, did not grow up seeing dad pack his lunch and fill the thermos and go off in the pickup truck before dawn, the old idealistic vision of watching. So how do you learn to work when you don't see it in your own home?
Yeah, I mean, from a practical standpoint, like a re-entry standpoint, some of the programs that stand out the best are those that create...
people coming out of prison.
Yeah, people coming out of prison. Like pay people daily, like you talked about. So get that immediate reinforcement of the appropriate behavior. I think it's really important that you just don't talk about the value, you show them value, you have them experience value from the work. But you said something earlier about everybody's doing it. Like when we're talking to our kids, our football team and our leadership sessions, that's the first red flag. And that's the first red flag for a Christian. If everybody's doing it, we probably should look and make sure that we're supposed to be doing it. And it's a message we tell our kids a lot, because when everybody's doing it, it's probably not always the right thing to do, when you really want to question, does this align with my values and is there a benefit? And I think the other thing with gambling is time,
I think we also need to tell the stories because I remember going to Atlantic City as an unsafe person, and I'm getting off and I'm going in the casino, and the guy said, hey, you know how they built all these? It wasn't from winners. Wow. They built all these big casinos from losers.
Everybody is not a winner.
Everybody's not a winner. And we don't hear the stories of the guy who sells everything and loses everything.
And that's why there are so many cash for gold shops in Atlantic City.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very good. Gentlemen, thank you. Very helpful. We're just getting started on this because this topic will be around for a long time, sadly. Yeah. Well, coming up on Morning Light, did you know the Harrisburg Area YMCA is, get this, the 8th oldest in America? The president and CEO sits down with Debra to share details about its programming. Up next, you're watching Morning Light right here on Lighthouse TV.
Welcome back. The YMCA stands for Young Men's Christian Association, and it's rooted with Christian principles through youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. The Harrisburg Area YMCA serves more than 50,000 members and 200,000 individuals each year. Joining us this morning is President and CEO David Ozmore. David, thanks so much for joining us. When people hear YMCA, they may not realize it's a Christian organization. Talk to us about that.
Sure, glad to be here. In 1844, a gentleman named George Williams moved to the city of London and worked in a factory. He was a blue-collar worker. He was a young teenager, worked in a factory, and decided that he didn't want to carouse the town with his buddies and decided to start a Bible study. And the Young Men's Christian Association was born in the upper room of a factory floor in London, England. Came to the United States in 1851 in Boston. The Harrisburg Area YMCA, ironically, is the 8th oldest Y in America. We were founded in 1854. But we've always been evangelical in some levels, and as modern society has approached, we have moved more into non-evangelical work and just focused on our Christian principles, but not steering far from the founding and the foundation of the Y.
Yeah, and how does the Y now use this biblical foundation?
Well, obviously, our mission statement is to put Christian principles into practice. And so every day we think about the teachings of Jesus Christ. We think about the way that Jesus walked and the way that Jesus talked and the way that Jesus ministered. And so the caring that you feel in the YMCA is real and it's genuine. The honesty that we deal with one another, the respect that we show to people of faith, people of non-faith. And we welcome people into our facilities. We want to fellowship with other citizens. We believe we're put on this earth for relationship. And if we steer you to Christ, we are so excited. But we want to live it out each and every day.
And what does the Bible say about exercise?
Yeah, I did a little research when I looked at the questions, and the Apostle Paul wrote about this in both 1 Corinthians 3 and in 1 Corinthians 6, and he talks about the Bible as our temple. The Holy Spirit owns our bodies now as Christians, and we are to treat our bodies as a reverent space, almost as if our bodies now belong to worship. And that was the context in which he wrote to the church at Corinth. And so we believe that we owe it to Christ. We owe it to our family and our community for relationship. We owe it to everyone to take care of our bodies and to treat it with the respect that God would have us treat it.
And there at the Y, you have plenty of different opportunities for people to take care of their bodies.
Yeah, lots of opportunities. We like to say sometimes that we serve cradle to grave. We serve the youngest of youth. We're the largest youth provider, child care provider in the country, but we also serve the oldest of our elders. And so if you walk into the YMCA in the morning, you will see lots of 80-year-old, 85-year-old, 90-year-old members congregating, talking, having relationship with one another, going to aerobics class, going to yoga class. In the afternoon, you'll see 2-year-olds and 5-year-olds and 10-year-olds playing in the gym and on our playgrounds. And lots of families in the afternoons and evenings. And on the weekends, it's a ton of families. And so we're one of the largest nonprofit organizations in the country. And we are very fortunate to have a mission to put Christian principles into practice. It really grounds us each and every day, and we talk about it all the time. All of our meetings start with prayer. You'll see our mission statement proudly displayed on our website and around the community. We talk about, I encourage our staff to memorize the mission statement, and there's a $5 bonus every time that they quote it to me in the halls of the Y. So we celebrate it.
And why is it so important to keep your body in shape, to go through this daily routine of exercising?
Well, I think within the relationship of marriage, it's very important to be healthy for your spouse. We're to be servants to our spouse. It's very important as parents. I'm a grandparent now. I want to see my thank you, my 2 beautiful granddaughters. I want to see them grow up and to be healthy. And so I have to model that for them. I model that for my 3 daughters. I model that for my wife. My wife and I ironically met at the YMCA. And all 3 of our kids have grown up in the Y. It's community for us, and it's not a job. It's a vocation. There's a difference between occupation and vocation, and that's biblical. And so each and every day, I owe it to them to serve. I owe it to them to be healthy in order to do that, I don't want to be cared for, I want to care.
Well said.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us.
It's exciting to be here. Thank you.
To learn more about the YMCA or to find a location near you, check out ymca.org. Still to come on Morning Light, as you just heard, the YMCA offers a variety of classes for every age and experience level. We'll take you to a high-intensity interval training class called Strong Nation. That's next. During our Body and Soul segment last year, we introduced you to Zumba, a fitness program that involves cardio and Latin-inspired dance. But did you know that Zumba also offers a program called Strong Nation? It features body weight, muscle conditioning, and plyometric training synced to music. We traveled to the Friendship Y to check out a class.
I'm Leon Powell. This is Strong Nation. We ready to get started?
Every Saturday morning at the Friendship Y, music resonates from inside this room. The music is choreographed to an array of exercise moves.
It has all the components you need for fitness. There's ground-based activities like push-ups, squats. There's a lot of plyometric movements to build explosive power.
A workout with a goal.
It's a cardiovascular, stamina, strength conditioning class. It's designed to build explosive power and also work on your core muscles, your balance, your agility. Here we go. All those things into one class.
A class Margarita Marengo attends regularly now, thanks to her daughter.
It took a while for me to get here. I have never been into exercise, never. And my daughter is. She wants to be military, she wants to be law enforcement. So she would drag me to walk with her.
Since COVID, she's been working from home, and so she was complaining a lot about her back sometimes. And so then I would walk around with my neighbor, and so I was like, well, why not walk? So we started walking at lunch, and then sometimes afterwards, after like she got out of work.
And she was wanting to come here to the Y. And so we signed up.
And so we got a membership here, and then I saw that there were some classes, and I knew she likes dancing and stuff, so Zumba.
Friends inspired her to take more classes.
One of my friends here, she's always enticing and cheering you to go to the next class and the next class. And so I've been listening. There's a reason for everything, right? And he puts us with some people in our paths that will help guide us.
As a Christian, Margarita also felt guided to be baptized. It recently took place at Life Center in Harrisburg.
I am here because I want Jesus to continue to be my rock, the one I stand on, the brick wall I lean on, and the cushion I can fall on.
When I got into the tank, a calmness, a peacefulness that I have honestly never ever felt came over. It's like everything bad was gone. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. It's amazing.
It was something that she's wanted to do for a really long time, and I don't know, I'm just like really happy for her. I'm happy that she decided to do it. I think it was definitely a big step, and I think good things are gonna happen from it.
A sense of peace that Margarita now feels, and it carries over into her everyday life, which includes staying fit.
It's always a good idea to take care of yourself, take care of your body, eat healthy, exercise, move. It doesn't really matter how old you are, right? Whether you're 5 or you're 95.
Honestly, I'm like really happy about it because she's found friends, people that she can like connect with. Like, because working from home, she wasn't able to do that much because we're at home. So I'm happy that she's able to connect with other people and stuff.
Margarita believes her faith motivates her with every move she makes.
I truly believe that the Holy Spirit lives in us. And if I come to class and I take care of my body and I take care of what I'm eating and I'm trying to stay healthy, that's, to me, it's taking care of where he lives, of his home.
Margarita says that so well. To find a Strong Nation class near you, go to strong.zumba.com. Stay with us. We're back right after the break. Welcome back. Coming up tomorrow on Morning Light, we first introduce you to Real Life Community Services in May. The nonprofit reaches at-risk youth and families in need in northern Lancaster County. We'll share the details of what they're doing for National Night Out in August. And that's a look at what's coming up tomorrow on Morning Light. Now, Jeff, your closing thoughts.
Well, thank you, Debra. I've got a good one for you here. Yesterday, I got a call, the fraud detection unit from a credit card company. Had I just made a $1,700 purchase at a gun store in New York? Well, absolutely not. Of course not. I learned how a fraudster had allegedly stolen my identity. The caller shared the date they applied for the card, the address where that card was delivered. 2 pages of notes later, I was transferred to an FBI agent to file my official complaint. After a 45-minute conversation with good Agent Reyes, it clicked. The call was a total scam. Not real, not the card, not the fraud, not any of it. Our call ended after a little bit of a heart-to-heart with the fake FBI agent on the line from the Philippines. He was caught in his own trap, stuck in a terrible job, making calls to people who would do anything to protect what was in the bank, all they'd worked for. The root of my gullibility for about an hour and a half was my fear of someone stealing my identity. The antidote to fear? Trusting that as a Christian, my true identity is in a lockbox. It is fully secure, no matter how good or how effective the scam. That's the final word for today. For Debra and the entire Morning Light team, I'm Jeff Coleman. Thanks for making time for us. Now go check on your neighbors, and then let's plan to meet right back here tomorrow morning.